Hello students, hearty welcome to our class. Hope you are all very well. Today we are going to learn about the poem A Fairy Song. The title of the poem that we are going to learn is A Fairy Song. Let us recite before we start learning about it. A Fairy Song. The poet of the poem is William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, 1564 to 1660, was an English playwright, poet, and actor, often called the English national poet and considered by many to be the greatest dramatist of all time. He was nicknamed the Bard of Avon. Shakespeare's work include 38 plays, 2 narrative poems, and 154 sonnets, and a variety of other poems. His plays like Hamlet, Macbeth, King Lear are some of the finest works in those genres. Some of his works are studied as academic subjects at postgraduate level across the world. This poem, A Fairy Song, is taken from his comedy play, A Midsummer Night's Dream. Here they have given the information related to the poet of the poem. This is the information related to the poet children William Shakespeare. He is a very famous playwright, poet, and also an actor. Okay, and he has written many literary works also, and which are very famous among those they have displayed here. You can go through these children, and the very important information what they have given in the details related to poet is the title of the poem A Fairy Song. What we are going to learn now is taken from his comedy play. Play means drama, children. A Midsummer Night's Dream. The poem what we are going to learn is taken from A Midsummer Night's Dream. Let us go into the poem, children. Very nice. It will be very nice poem and you can also enjoy a lot. A Fairy Song. Over hill, over dale, thorough bush, thorough briar. Over park, over pale, thorough flood, thorough fire. I do wander everywhere, swifter than the moon's spear, and I serve the fairy queen to dew her orbs upon the green. The cowslips tall her pensioners be, in their gold coats spots you see. Those be rubies, fairy favors, in those freckles leave their savors. I must go seek some dewdrops here, and hang a pearl in every cowslip's ear. So here they have given 2 stanzas, children. Over hill, over dale, thorough bush, thorough briar, over park, over pale, thorough foot, thorough fire. I do wander everywhere, swifter than the moon's spear, and I serve the fairy queen to dew her orbs upon the green. So here, children, a fairy song. What is meant by fairy? An imaginary creature with magic powers, usually represented as a very small person with wings. So here what are they telling, children? It is an imaginary creature which has magic powers, means some powers will be there for that. And represented as a very small person with wings. And here if you observe, you can see the picture of a fairy, children. By going through the picture, you can understand how the fairy will be there. And moreover, it is an imaginary creature. Where this fairy will be there? What is she going to do? What can you observe by going through the picture? Just observe the picture for a while. Observe the picture for a while. You will get an idea. Let us go through it. There are some plants, and for those plants flowers also there. Above the plants fairy is there, and you can also see bunch of flowers in fairy's hand, and fairy also has wings. See, children, what can you understand by going through the picture? Can you imagine? See, over hill, over dale, thorough bush, thorough briar, over park, over pale, thorough flood, thorough fire. Means I do wander everywhere. Here, who does I refers to? I refers to fairy, children. So wherever it wanders, they have mentioned the names of the places. So where it wanders, children? Over hills, dales, and not only those, bush, briars also, and park, pale also. Here they have mentioned each and everything very clearly. And how do it wander? Swifter than the moon's spear. What is the meaning of the word swifter, children? Quickly. And I serve the fairy queen to dew her orbs upon the green. Who is the fairy queen here? Can you guess? Who is serving fairy queen? Fairy. And in which way it is serving? To dew her orbs upon the green. So, I want to keep the surprise until we complete the second stanza. May I? Or may I reveal? Or may I let the cat out of the bag? I'll tell you. And I serve the fairy queen. Fairy queen is none other than cowslips. What is meant by cowslips, children? It is a yellow flower with tall, slender stems. Okay, very beautiful flowers, children, cowslips. So those will be in yellow color, and they have given some description in your glossary also related to cowslip. Cowslip means a kind of plant grown in Europe and West Asia. So where these cowslips are grown, children? These flower-bearing plants are grown in Europe and also in West Asia. And the color of the flowers is yellow color. And how this fairy is serving those cowslips? So it is, we'll see. To dew her orbs upon the green. What is meant by dew, children? Drops of water that form on the ground and other surfaces outside during the night. So here it is dropping some water drops on those flowers, children, and other surfaces outside the night. So here what can you understand? So it is roaming everywhere, and wherever it wanders, they have mentioned the places also in the first stanza. And why is it roaming in those specific places only? Because there cowslips are there, these flowers are there, and it is dropping dew drops on those flowers. What is the reason? Why is it specifically dropping those dew drops on those only, on those flowers? Let us see. The cowslips tall her pensioners be. Who are the pensioners to this fairy? Cowslips are the pensioners to fairy. Pension means what, children? A person who receives a pension. And here in which form these cowslips are receiving pension from the fairy? Dew drops. Dew drops are received in the form of pension by the cowslips. And moreover, this fairy termed the cowslips as fairy queen. In their gold coats, spots you see, those be rubies, fairy favors. So what can you see in those gold coats, children? And what are these gold coats? I have already told you. What did I tell you? The flowers color. What is the color of these cowslip flowers? Yellow color. So here gold coats means that yellow color is termed as gold. And in those petals, inside the petals, you can see some spots. What are those spots? Let us see. And these spots are termed as rubies, one of the gemstones. Those be rubies, fairy favors. Okay, fairy favors. In those freckles, leave their savors. Freckles means spots, children. There you can see different savors, means different flavors we can see. I must go seek some dew drops here. So in those rubies, I have to drop some dew drops and hang a pearl in every cowslip's ear. See how nicely the literary words are used in this poem by the poet William Shakespeare. So as the girls or ladies decorate themselves and especially decorate their ears with beautiful earrings, in the same way here he has termed those rubies and pearls, hang a pearl, and these flowers will be hanging as it little bit bend, no children. That one he is telling as a pearl in every cowslip's ear. So here fairy queen is a cowslip. Here in this poem the poet has told the beautiness of the cowslips, and the dewdrops were dropped by the fairy. Because of the fairy, these all flowers are very beautiful. I think you have enjoyed the poem very well, children. Just for a while, go through the poem silently. Okay, children? Glossary. Meanings of the hard words given from the poem A Fairy Song. Learn the meanings of these words also, children. After completion of these, choose the correct options to complete the sentences. So here what should you do, children? You have to go through the sentences, what did they give here, and fill in the blanks with the correct options. How can you complete this exercise very correctly? If you listen the poem, then only you will be able to complete correctly without mistakes. Answer the following questions. Answers of these questions were already given in your material. You can go through that. Continuation of the questions, children, and they have given fun time answers, riddles answers. Okay, of before exercises. You can go through those also. And maintain the textbook beside the device for better understanding. That also will help you to revise very quickly and also within no time at the time of revising for your exams. Let us go through diary entry. These slides are taken from your material, children. Now you have to maintain the material beside the device. What is the definition of diary entry, and some tips also they have given here related to diary entry. Let us go through those all. A diary is a personal book in which one records day-to-day events. Often, a diary is kept by the writer to record his or her own experiences and feelings. So, a diary is a personal book, children. There we record our day-to-day events, means whatever happened in our day. What did we do in the day? Often a diary is kept by the writer to record his or own experiences and feelings. Not only writing in a simple way, children, we express our feelings in that diary. Okay, we jot down each and everything in a detailed way. And here tips. How should we write the diary entry? How it has to be started, continue, and how should we conclude? Connectivity should be there between sentence to sentence, children. How can we do those all? Once if we go through these tips, you will get an idea. A diary entry must always include the date on which the entry is made. So what should you do, children? So you have to mention the date. On which day you are writing, the date should be there. And also, it can be a few sentences or few pages. It depends upon the mood of the writer who is writing, and also it depends upon the incidents or events that has taken place on that particular day. So, if the day went on very well in an as usual way, we will complete writing the diary entry of that particular day within few sentences, or else in a vice versa few pages. As it is a personal and informal piece of writing, there are no set rules about how it should be written. So here what did they tell, children? It is a personal. So personally we write our feelings. How did we feel on that particular day? We will write personally. And moreover, it will be an informal piece of writing. So based on our convenience we will write. That's why they are telling it is informal. There are no set rules about how it should be written. There are no particular rules and regulations. How should you write the diary entry? A diary entry should include a mix of facts and feelings. Remember, you may want to read your diary many years from now. How should you write, children? You have to write facts. but not exaggerations or boasting. You have to write facts, what happened on that particular day, and your feelings as usual. Remember, you may want to read your diary many years from now. Even after many years, if you try to read also, you should be able to understand very clearly what happened on that day. When you might have forgotten the events and people you have written about, you may forget some events after some days or years. Once if you go through that particular diary entry, you should be able to recall or recollect about the particular persons or that event very clearly. So do not use abbreviations unless they are explained on first appearance. Never use abbreviations. Cut short forms should not be used. Okay, it has to be written in a detailed way. Similarly, it is a good idea to write the full names of people you mention. So write the full names of the people. It is good for you only to understand very easily after many years. At least the first time you mention them. First time. So first time, as you have started writing the diary entry on that day, at least for first time you have to write the complete name. Then afterwards anyhow you will use the pronouns or their pet names or nicknames. Be truthful, because years later you will not know which are the true memories and which are not. So that is a collection of memories, children. That's why they are asking you to write in a truthful way. And here they have given format: day, date, year, time, at which time you are writing. Generally, if you are writing informal letters, how do we write, children? Dear father, dear mother, dear Lata, Geeta, Radha, Krishna, like that. In the same way, diary entry, how should we write? A dear diary. And moreover, it is optional, means not mandatory. Beginning of entry. So anyway, at the time of writing a paragraph, always what should you remember? Introduction, body of the paragraph or body of the letter. So title related to what you are writing, and conclusion. In the same way, beginning of entry, body of the entry, and conclusion or resolution. And connectivity should be there between sentence to sentence. Those all should be observed by you very carefully. Let us go through some examples, children, then you can understand very easily. Sample. Here they have given specimens also. Once if we go through, you can understand very easily. Imagine that you have saved a boy from a road accident. Everyone appreciated you. Now write a diary entry about the incident. How did you feel at that time? How did you respond at that time? Those all you have written in your diary entry. See here, day, date. Date means date, month, year, everything will come, children. If you go through, you will get an idea. And time, at what time you are writing the diary entry. Dear diary, introduction or beginning of the entry, body of the diary entry, and then conclusion. Go through this word to word, children, then you will get an idea how to write also. Writing skills. Tomorrow your school is celebrating Teachers' Day. You have been selected for presenting a speech before teachers. Express your feelings and emotions in the form of diary entry in not more than 150 words. How did you feel at that time? Just once if you start writing, before you start writing only, think what kind of words can be used to write the diary entry and how can I construct the sentences. In your mind, if you think for a while, you can answer the questions quickly, and also you can reduce the mistakes at the time of writing. And tense also has to be observed, children. Observe those all carefully. See here, we are writing about completed actions. So which tense has to be used at the time of writing? Past tense. Okay, sometimes we will use a present tense also. But core part of the diary entry will be written in past tense, and if necessary we will use the subdivisions also, not only simple past tense. Past continuous, past perfect tense, and also past perfect continuous tense. Now see notice making. Here they have given rules and regulations. How should you write a notice making also? How should you write a notice? And also the definition related to notice. A notice is a very short piece of writing written in a formal style. So here you have to remember, children, diary entry. So it is made or it is written in informal style, and coming to notice making, it is written in formal style. That way of comparison also has to be made between topic to topic, which helps you to remember very quickly and also to understand. The purpose of a notice is to announce or give information to a specific group of people about a specific event or happening. So, the events may include announcements, celebrations, inaugurations, sales, public instructions, appeals, etc. So here what are they telling children? The purpose of a notice. So why do we write the notice? To make an announcement orally. Instead of making an announcement orally, we write that announcement on in the paper. In a paper you will write and you will display it on the notice board. So notice can be written about any topic to make an announcement or to make the people to know about the event or instant what is going to take place. Here what kind of events for what kind of events you can write the notice, they have mentioned here. Not only that, etc. More will be there than this, but as an example we have mentioned here very few. A few. It is common to use the passive voice in notices. See here children, very important tip. You have to highlight it in your material. So in which voice it has to be written? In passive voice. In order to grab the attention of the readers, catchy and striking phrases or slogans can be used for the heading. So in order to grab means in order to make the readers to be very attentive. What can you do children? Catchy and striking phrases. So literary words can be used. Okay, and new words can be used in an attractive way. And also it should be very simple to understand very clearly and quickly. Standard abbreviations are allowed in notices. Standard abbreviations which are very familiar to everyone. That kind of abbreviations are also used. A notice should be written in the following format. So here they have mentioned the format of notice making also children. See here, follow this format and complete the questions what did they give in the notice making. Once you go through the example what did they give here children, then you will get an idea. Two examples they have given. Go through those two carefully and then answer the questions. Passage exercises, comprehension passages children, not only those here, see here, complete the passage choosing the right words from the choices given below. So here they have given a passage children, you have to understand that and you have to fill in the blanks with the right words that are given below the passage. This has to be done very carefully children. Go through and complete. And in the same way here in this page they have given comprehension passages. You have to read the passage, understand and then answer the questions. In your material only place is given to answer the questions children. You can answer there only. Thank you.